really good news today. Something I'm very, very excited about, which I know you will be too. You'll have read the title of the video. It's about Mohammed Kudus. Now, this video, I wasn't planning on doing this. It's moved so quickly. I've sort of had to change the video for today. So I'd already pre-recorded one. It's all about how West Ham signing 2 more players is going to make us a formidable team. I'll upload that later, but in chronological order. You'll have to remember I've recorded that before I knew that the Kudus deal was advanced as it is now. I'll upload that about lunchtime today. Oh, I'll read you a tweet. I'll read you a tweet from Fabrizio Romano. Do we still call them tweets? I'm not. In fact, I don't care, and I'm going to continue to call it. I'll still call it a tweet in the same way that for a long, long time I still called a Snickers a marathon. There you go, old-fashioned. So this is from Fabrizio Romano. It says West Ham are really close to completing the signing of Mohammed Kudus, the deal with Ajax, after sending a new formal bid tonight. Final details being discussed, but West Ham feel 90% of the deal is completed. Same also on the player side. So there's still sort of something to be done in terms of the club. Anyway, it says new bid close to £45 million package with a sell-on clause. It's understood that the sell-on clause is 90%. Now, I must say, it wasn't Romano that broke this news. I think it was David Ornstein. I just think it's probably fair to say that now. I just don't have his tweet to hand. It was a little bit more detail than that. But this is really good news. Really, really good news for West Ham, because this guy is an exceptional player. If you've not done so already, I'm sure you have. Curiosity gets the better of most of us. It certainly gets the better of me. Go and have a little look. Go and have a look. Go and have a look on YouTube and search out his highlights at Ajax. Really, really good player. Look, we've discussed it before. I'll just tell you very, very briefly now. Looks to carry, dribble the ball exceptionally well. Looks versatile. Looks like he can play in a number of positions. And he's going to be a real asset to the front line. I don't know where David Moyes sees him being in terms of the final position that he might play in. But it could be anything. It could be him that plays on the right. Maybe Bowen goes more central. This guy can certainly play in central positions, although he is not Ajax's number 9. That's not what he is, but he has played up there. I think he scored 18 goals last season, actually, and got lots and lots of assists. He can also obviously operate on the left. Wouldn't be surprised if that's where he plays for us at the moment, but I don't know. This is just pure and utter guesswork from me. He's played 2 games in the Eredivisie this season already. He scored a goal in the first game and created one, got an assist in the second game. So he's in absolutely good form. Was linked. Well, he wasn't just linked. Brighton had a bid for this guy, accepted earlier on in the transfer window, but he decided not to go there. I don't know why. I haven't got a clue. Maybe it was wages, maybe it wasn't. Who knows? But I think what is clear, if Brighton thought it'd be a good acquisition, then that's sort of good enough for me, really, because they're really good at acquiring the right player, aren't they? So I'm very excited about this. He will bring some much needed pace to the side, which I'll sort of go into. I just think this will make us really formidable if we can defend really, really well. And I think we certainly have the players that we're going to be able to do that. We can offer a real threat on a counter-attack. I think we're going to be a right pain in the arse team to play against. But that's more of that in the video later on. Before I go any further, this video is sponsored by the OneFootball app, which you can download by clicking that link underneath the screen or by using that QR code up there. I'm not sure how you'd use a QR code because you're actually watching this on a phone, so you can't scan it on a phone as well, can you? Use the link below. Now, I know you've come from Hammers Chat. Why do you want to download it? Well, because any time there's any news about any player to do with West Ham, it will let you know, because at the point where you download it, it tells you tell the app who you support. And, well, for me, it's obviously West Ham. For you, it'll be West Ham. I also say that I like to follow England, but you can also tailor it to your own specifications in terms of which tournament, which player, anything like that. Basically, it's a bespoke app that gives you what you want. Best of all, the app is free. Check it out in the link below. Now, there's going to be a whole load of stories on there at the moment, which will be including Mohammed Kudus as well. I think the really exciting thing about this is I believe we are, even if we sign this guy, we are still in for Youssef En-Nesyri or Ekitike from Paris Saint-Germain. Don't know how true that is, But if it is, I would consider this to be a very, very serious transfer window for West Ham. It really will. I'm getting excited. I've got to be honest with you. I am getting very, very excited about it. There's no doubt about it at all. Something that's slightly less exciting. I'll tell you what we didn't really discuss was Flynn Downs on this channel. I know you already know that Flynn Downs has gone on to play for Southampton. He's gone on loan for a year. I think probably why is it being a loan as the club hedging their bets? I think if he does well, if Southampton do well and they get promoted, and I think as Flynn Downs probably will be one of the best players in the Championship, then one or two things, we're just in a better position. Either a very, very good player comes back to us and he is a West Ham fan, an improved and better player, or a player that Southampton will really want and they'll probably have to pay more money for him in a year's time. So, I think that was really good. I like Flynn Downs. Wish him well, really do. A player that has been rumoured to be on the radar of Bayern Munich is Thilo Kehrer. Now, the interesting thing is they want him primarily as a right back, which is, I always thought he was a better centre back than right back at West Ham, but he's a German international, and I think the first thing about that, sometimes you hear a transfer rumour and you think, does that rumour surprise me? I think in terms of Thilo Kehrer, actually, this one didn't surprise me at all. Not one jot. Because I do think he's a good player. He obviously was good enough to play for Paris Saint-Germain, good enough to play for Germany. And I thought he's finished the season really, really strongly for West Ham. But not only that, Thilo Kehrer is a really strong character. He really is. He's got oodles of personality. And I think that was most profoundly highlighted during the bus parade we were parading our wonderful trophy around the streets of East London. He was leading the choruses of I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles and some other favourable West Ham songs. So I don't know if he's saying... Actually, I did. I saw him in the dressing room singing a Jared Bowen song. There you go. Every time I've heard him interviewed, I think he carries himself really well. And I've heard David Moyes say it as well, say that he's a good lad in the dressing room. He's good for the dressing room. So he's a good character. So I think he'd actually be a bit of a loss for West Ham. That being said, I'm not sure how much he's going to be utilised. Obviously, we've signed Mavropanos now, and I just do wonder. Also, when I looked at Mavropanos, I thought, actually, that's another guy that can use his right foot and can play on that right wing. At right back. His highlight reel for some of his goals are really, really good too. So I wouldn't be surprised if we wanted an emergency right back that Mavropanos would play there. Basically, Mavropanos can do what Thilo Kehrer can do. So I do wonder if, he's maybe going to be surplus to requirements a little bit. He's not going to feature that often. I do think he's better than that. His ability is better than just bench warming. So that wouldn't surprise me if he were to go back to Bayern Munich, and so not back to Germany to play for Bayern Munich. It would sort of make a little bit of sense as well in terms of the finances when you think about it. Once you've calculated all the outgoings and all the incomings, if we were to get Kudus and we were to get a striker as well, once we've bought and sold everyone, we're about 10, 15 million pound down. And I think were we to get that amount for Thilo Kehrer, then we would, then the books would be well and truly balanced. And I don't know, it'd be really interesting to find out what people thought, whether or not, we had a better team than last season. Bearing in mind, we lost, arguably our best player in Declan Rice. I still think there's scope for somebody else leaving. I don't think it's going to yield an awful lot of money. There may even be... I think there may be 2 departures in addition to Thilo Kehrer. That's a video for... And I keep teasing it tonight. It's not that interesting. There's probably better things to do with your time. But if you see it pop up, then you'll know what I'm talking about. I do think there's a couple of players that are not Aaron Cresswell or Mikel Antonio. I'm feeling all cryptic, aren't I? That I think could be departing. I don't think they yield an awful lot of money, but when I look at the composition of David Moyes' squad and what David Moyes probably sees as his best not just starting 11, but he's starting 11 plus the bench, I'm not sure these guys will feature too readily, particularly if you sign Kudus and Nesri, and of course Jesse Lingard as well. Give you a little hint to who I'm talking about there. And that's without me even mentioning El Fornicador, the fornicator. I'd be disappointed to see him go, has to be said. But anyway, Mohammed Kudus, I'm releasing this video early now because it may well be done within the next 2 days. So there you go.